back up have now found themselves getting cold at the wrong time. But the Indians now tied with Toronto, half a game behind the Yankees in the wild card, 4.5 back. Yankees are 4, and then Detroit and Seattle tied there. So, I mean, the Indians little by little continuing. All you can do is jump one team at a time. Right now, they sit a half a game behind the Yankees. You win. Next is to flip-flop them. You don't go all the way up 4.5 games at once, but they continue, like I said, to sit there, man. I mean, it's all right there for the Indians. It's up to them if they want to go get it. And hopefully last night makes them all go in the locker room and go, man, somebody throw something and say, see, that's it. We're done. Let's go out here and finish the unfinished business.
Well, the thing of it is, too, you have to play it like Tito does, one game at a time. You can't look, 14, 15 games ahead. You have to worry about tomorrow. Win today.
Absolutely.
And then, go out and play tomorrow.
Absolutely. Bruce,
my man, it's a 162-game schedule.
I know. Sometimes that's not as good a thing as it sounds. Sometimes it is.
And sometimes you need them all. You're right.
That's right. Absolutely. They needed every one of them last year. That's for sure.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Bruce, I'm up against it, but I'm going to switch. I'm going to talk a little bit here. Obviously, the Browns and the quarterback thing in the next segment. I know you've been, in the middle of the conversation. You like Johnny Manziel, but what are your thoughts on the final? I mean, because it is finally now at least done and over for now. Hoyer's going to start. Manziel's
my opinion is you got to go with the veteran. I mean,
at this point,
you have the guy that's been there and done it. I think that Manziel will eventually be in there,
Yep.
But, I say don't rush him.
And I'm with you. And I think, what's amazing? And I'm going to use you as an example. Hopefully you don't mind here, Bruce. But Bruce, gung-ho, Johnny Manziel guy. And I think even you, and you tell me, I don't want to just speak for you, but you tell me if I'm right. But I think you encapsulate a lot of fans that were also big on him and what he did in college. But take Brian Hoyer out of the equation, did your opinion of Johnny Manziel's NFL readiness change just based off of him and what you saw from him? I mean, forget Hoyer.
Monday night, I didn't see either quarterback impress me.
No. I just mean the whole body of work. I mean, are you now like a lot of guys that go, yeah, I think he's going to be the future, but, man, he's still got a lot of work to do right now. I think a lot of people thought he was much more of a finished product than he was.
I thought he would catch on a little faster than he has.
And that, too, I think a lot of people thought he would catch on faster. But, so I think it's not just a matter of I'm looking at the narrative, and I've gotten a lot of feedback this morning, and I got a lot less complaints, even though people, of course, aren't happy with the way the offense has looked, even with Hoyer. But I got a lot less complaints about people that think Johnny was shafted, because even taking Hoyer
I agree
out of
with
the
that.
equation,
I don't think you can call it a competition if you don't give them equal amount of time.
Right, but you also have to take into consideration that you can only give him what he can handle, And I believe with the way Hoyer's been up and down in this camp, that if Johnny had been able to handle more, they would have given him more and more and more, and he would have just ended up the quarterback. I know that at the end of the day is what the Browns hoped would happen.
Well, I was thinking the opposite direction. I was thinking you learn from your mistakes, and, the only way he's going to learn is to go out there and make a few mistakes.
I understand that, but, I mean, at the same time, too, I get where you're coming from, but I think that is the way it's set up now. If the season goes down the tubes, if you are 0-5 or 1-6 or something like that, then you can do that, and the fans go, okay, well, it's time to see what the kid can do. But, Bruce, I know for a fact that if it was baseball, I know you're an Indians guy. If the Indians, you talk about the AAA pitchers all you want. If the Indians brought you 5 Johnny Manziels next year, and what I mean by that is top-rated prospects, young guys with a big arm, they're all AAA pitchers, though. You would not be happy on opening day, because you would go, what is this, 162-game tryout?
Columbus, right, exactly.
Yeah, So from that perspective, too, I mean, and that's why I say, and I could be wrong, hey, I thought that Johnny would play better in the games like other people did, because some guys do show up in the games. But he actually played worse than he practiced in the games because it's complicated, and I do think this offense is overcomplicated, and I'll talk about that when we come back here in a minute. But you could see it. He hasn't caught up to it yet. The game is definitely moving too fast for him still. But I just say, imagine you're in Pittsburgh and you fumble the first snap and you're offsides on the second snap and the guy drops the third pass. How badly can that get inside the head of a rookie quarterback right off the bat? You know what I'm saying?
It didn't do much for Hoyer either, though.
Well,
exactly. He was thinking about it the whole time.
And you know what? I think the biggest part of that is the looking over your shoulder for both guys. I think that, and that's why now that this decision is made, this cannot be a halftime of the first game we put Johnny in if things aren't going good. You have committed to Hoyer now. You have to give him... So you
actually think that Hoyer was actually worried about losing his job to Johnny?
To be totally honest with you, I think he was for the first couple of weeks because of the hype and because of everything. But I think once he saw, what did I used to joke about during the summer? Every weekend, Brian would go, well, thank you very much, Johnny, because he watched and saw.
Because he watched him screw up.
Yes, and he saw that the kid wasn't stepping up to take advantage of the opportunity that he had. So, but I do think he was worried at first. I mean, naturally, if they draft a guy at your position in the first round of the draft, you're going to go, wow. They're not 100% sure that I'm the guy.
There also has to be a time there where you have enough confidence in yourself where you say, look, this is my job. It's up to him to take it.
And I agree. But I think it took a minute for Brian Hoyer to believe that the Browns were going to give him a fair shot. Because I'm telling you, just looking at it from you and I saw all the hype. We saw everybody anoint him the starter the day he was drafted. I mean, they didn't even know who Hoyer's name was, half the people out there, right? So, when all of that is happening, all I'm going to say is 90% of the time in the NFL, Brian Hoyer would have been run over by the tidal wave of momentum, of media hype. There's no doubt in my mind that it would have been different in a lot of other situations. So, I do think he was looking over his shoulder. And And
Monday night he went out and played like it. He played like he was still worried.
And I believe that because I think that was where Mike Pettin made a rookie mistake, and he fixed it today. He could have easily waited another week, but he said, no, my team is not coming together. I've got to get this over with now, and I've got to make, and you have to stick your claim in the ground.
Do you believe the locker room is divided?
I don't think so. I think that
I wasn't buying that either. I don't think they're divided. I think they'll go with whoever the starter is.
Absolutely. And I do believe that Brian Hoyer's a game manager. He will not lose you games. I'm not saying he's going to win you games, but he's not going to lose them either. And there is a lot to be said for that as well, And but I'm with you. I don't think the locker room is split. And I got to be honest, I think a lot of the locker room is comfortable with this decision here. And I take Hoyer out of the equation. It's the fact that Johnny is not ready. That's the thing. I mean, there's guys that come in, and Russell Wilson is the perfect example. People compared him to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson came in, took his opportunity, and said, you're not moving me, and I'm gonna take this job, and I'm gonna take it now, and I'm ready for it. And what did it take? 2-3 weeks? And there's the difference. Forget Hoyer. If Manziel had been on his game and had caught up to speed faster and had been a little bit better, Brian Hoyer would be out of this race. I don't care what anybody says, hometown hero or not. He was going to get run over.
Exactly.
He was going to get run over.
If Johnny would have took the bull by the horns, he would have.
But it's not just that. We don't know if he can yet either, Bruce. Now, let's not just make it sound like Johnny's lazy. He also has to figure it out. He has to prove that he can figure it out. Now, I do think that he can. He's a pretty smart kid. His Wonderlic score was decent. That doesn't mean a lot because Ryan Fitzpatrick is like a genius, and he's not exactly a good NFL quarterback. But I do think. But man, people oversimplify things. When you come out of a college program where your playbook is 3 pages long and you're literally running variations of the same 3 plays over and over again, there's a big, like Johnny
and
said.
LG made the perfect point in his article this morning about, the playbook's just too complicated,
And I agree
Why
for both
do you
of
need,
them.
the Webster Dictionary to decipher a play? You almost
And I
need an
agree.
interpreter to tell you what it is.
I think even now that Hoyer's the starter, and I'll talk about this when we come back on the other side, but I think even now that Hoyer's the starter, they still have to simplify these play calls, not for the quarterback, for the other guys, because I don't think that Brian Hoyer was the one that was confused on the first play of the game the other day. I think it was Jordan Cameron who was in the wrong place. And so clearly, everybody does not understand
And
this stuff.
the linemen were
Exactly.
even lined up in different...
And Alex Mack had a different snap count than Brian Hoyer. So to me, I think I don't mean simplify the offense. I just mean simplify the damn play calls. Like, I don't know how, though, because you've been teaching guys since the beginning of camp this. You can't exactly come in tomorrow and go, well, now we're going to change everything. So I don't know, but I do think that they do have to find a way to simplify that. And you know what? A good suggestion, too, I'm not saying that you don't have to necessarily tailor an offense to Hoyer more than you do Manziel. Go look at some of the stuff that the Browns did last year. Some of the easier, the quick read, some of the things that Hoyer did well. Just build him a comfortable first week playbook. Let the team play together. But I think I'm most interested in seeing Saturday. Let's see if now that he doesn't worry about throwing an interception and losing his job, let's see if he plays. Now, if he still plays rough, then again, I don't know if that's Hoyer's problem, but it's a problem that's not going to be fixed by Pittsburgh. I can tell you that.
Oh,
they
no,
might have
not
the
at
best
all.
defense, but that's all they're going to have. And I will say that there is not enough credit being given. Too many people have been talking about quarterbacks. I think now maybe people will start to pay attention to this defense, because this is going to be one of the better Browns defenses in a while.
Yeah, I suggested, we go back to Red Right 88, but,
Yeah.
I was shot down right away by LG, who said that didn't work well the first time. So
We don't even need play calls. Go in the damn huddle and say, you run 10 yards and turn around.
Yeah.
You
like
run
I said
15
yesterday, go to the Buick and
yards.
cut in front of the Pinto.
I mean, come on, man. Like, let's keep it simple. Everybody, block the guy in front of you. Go. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding.
Yep.
I see Charles in the chat room. Let's go Tecmo Bowl. 3 plays, man. That's it, man. You know what? You could have a 1-play playbook. If the other team can't stop it, that's all that matters,
That's
man.
the only one you need, exactly.
Absolutely. All right, Bruce, man, I'm up against it. I've been up against it for 15 minutes. I got to take this break, man. Thank you for the call.
Not a problem. Thank you, J-Rock.
All right, I appreciate it. You know what? Matter of fact, we'll keep this conversation going. We'll come back on the other side of the break here. We've got my man Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan coming on. Matter of fact, I'm just going to get Dan on here next. He can jump in on the conversation with us. We'll talk some Indians and Browns. We'll kind of retouch what we've been talking on with Dan. Then we'll jump into the Buckeyes. Buckeyes fans obviously disheartened with what we saw yesterday. Sit tight. Here comes the break. When we come back, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan joins us. The Sports Fix rolls. Can you believe this is the first? Is it really the first break? Oh, Bruce, we should have put that call on hold and took it back on the other side of the break. We'll be right back. Dan Wismar. We're talking Tribe, Browns, Buckeyes, Sports Fix rolling on. Who cares what time it is? We run this show. We'll go as long as we want. We'll be right back.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
we'll be right back.
Guys, want to take just a second as we head into this break and remind you about the official business printing source of the Sports Fix, our friends at Signs and Ship. Signs and Ship, I'm telling you, Chris and Pam, they've taken care of me since day one, and they can do the same for you. Whether you're a small business that's already been established and you're looking to grow to that next level and expand your business, or perhaps you've got an idea that you just know is going to be a great business and you need to figure out how to brand it and how to promote it and put it out there, Signs and Ship is the